Hi guys, I'm Rachel Lynn for Bloggers Beat, and today I'm going to show you how I create video pins for Pinterest without losing all of the great benefits of a traditional image pin. You can do this using any video editing software that allows you to create layers. So let's just get right to it. Okay, so I'm using Final Cut Pro 10 for this, but you can use whatever software that you choose. And to get started, I'm just going to open a new project up and change my aspect ratios to mimic those that I like to use for a pin image. For Final Cut Pro, that means that I'm going to select custom settings and change my aspect ratios to 1000 by 1500 pixels. That's the size that I like to use for my Pinterest images, and it's a 2:3 ratio, which is what they recommend. If you don't have custom options in your software, you can just use portrait or vertical settings the same way that you would use for an Instagram video. Once that's set up, I'm just going to drag and drop a solid background onto the timeline. Another option is to create a background image in Photoshop and import it into this video timeline. I'm just going to change the color on this and extend the time out to around 30 seconds on the timeline. We'll make more adjustments to this later on once we get the video clip brought into this. Okay, and now I'm just going to switch back over to my video clips, and I'm going to grab a clip that I want to use and drag it down to the timeline. And you can see that I am sitting it over the top of the background so that it now becomes the top layer. And I'm just going to transform it a bit so that it looks aesthetically pleasing to me. And FYI, I'm just using a basic 1080 by 1080 clip, like the same thing that you would use in an Instagram video for this. But I could have imported a landscape video into this and it would have worked just as well. And now all I'm doing is adjusting the background clip so that it lines up with the end of the video clip. It's important that all of our clips stop at the same moment, and I will tweak that a little bit more at the end. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull in a logo. And since this is a clip from my home improvement blog, I'm going to use a logo for that blog site. If you're wondering why it doesn't say Bloggers Beat, that's the reason why. And I invite everyone to come over and check out that blog as well. But I'm just going to pull that down into the timeline and make the same kind of adjustments on that one as I did for everything else. Then just click the transform button and drag it into place. Now I'm just going to quickly do a little bit of tweaking on this timeline to make sure everything's lined up. And you can see if I zoom in on it real close, you can see that a lot better how the timeline is not completely lined up for each clip. So all I'm doing right now is just skimming back and forth and checking the timeline and making little adjustments to it as needed to make sure that everything's perfectly ending at exactly the same moment. And everything's looking really good there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add in the text just like I would for a regular image pin. And I find that it's best to use an unanimated text for this. If you want to use some sort of animated text in this type of a pin, just make sure that you create a thumbnail at the beginning of your image. Otherwise, your text may not show up until someone hits the play button, and you don't want that to happen. Anyway, let me just quickly finish getting this text in place, and I will show you how the final video plays out. Okay, this is it, 19 seconds in fast motion. Thanks for watching to the end, and to get more great tips like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel.